Chapter 3884. All right. Wang Xian looked in the direction and Lai pointed and squinted his eyes. He waved his palm and the stellar field fragment appeared in his hand. A planet appeared beneath his feet. He chased after it at a terrifying speed. This time, Lan Qingwei did not follow. The power of a Faith Universe army, he could easily destroy it. His flying speed was comparable to the speed of a 7th-order Sovereign Realm giant beast. As for the 6th-order Sovereign Realm space beasts, their speed was much slower than Huang Xiaolong's. They had only flown for a dozen seconds. With Wang Xian's speed, he could catch up in less than 10 seconds. Using the terrifying power of the stellar field fragment, the figure of a giant beast soon appeared in Wang Xian's sight. On the back of the giant beast was a 1,000,000-strong army. Wang Xian could not help but smile when he saw them. It's time for revenge. Stellar field, unsolvable domain. Wang Xian flew over instantly. The speed brought by the stellar field fragment caught the army of Faith in front of him off guard. He flew over and immediately unleashed the power of the stellar field fragment. Unsolvable domain. In an instant, the entire void changed horribly. The starry sky seemed to have disappeared, and they had entered another starry sky. And in this starry sky, there was a mysterious power. There were also stars and meteorites in the surroundings. There did not seem to be anything special. This was the power of the stellar field fragment that Wang Xian had mobilized. Although he had only nurtured it a little, his control of the stellar field fragment had already surpassed the 8 gods. The 8 gods borrowed much less power than he did, and their attacks were also much fewer. At the very least, the 8 gods could not unleash the unsolvable domain. Ha! What's going on? What's going on? In front of them, all the gods and believers of the luminous Sun Palace who were standing on the giant beast saw this scene. Their eyes narrowed and their faces were filled with shock. They hurriedly sized up their surroundings, full of vigilance. They did not suspect that they were attacked by the Dragon King of the Dragon Palace. They might have been attacked by the giant beast in the starry sky universe. Their gazes swept across their surroundings. Explode! Wang Xian watched them being pulled into the unsolvable domain and revealed a smile. He smiled and gave a low shout. Boom, boom, boom! All of a sudden, the meteor below the 6th-order Sovereign Realm star beast exploded. The aftermath of the terrifying explosion struck directly at the giant star beast. The destructive power caused the giant star beast to howl in terror and despair. Beneath it, a large number of wounds instantly appeared. His wounds tore open his body, causing his life force to quickly disappear. Not good, there's an ambush. What a terrifying attack! All the gods and believers of the universe felt the attack coming from below, and their expressions changed drastically. When they saw the vitality of the 6th-order Sovereign Realm space beast below them disappearing, they quickly flew up into the sky. Unless you're stronger than me, a single word from me can determine the life and death of all living beings in this domain. Wang Xian muttered as he looked at the 100-odd rank 7 gods. Without the slightest hesitation, he pinched the air with his palm. Buzz! A wave of energy shot out towards the 100+ type 7 gods. Terrifying energy pressed down on them. Not good. What kind of power is this? Where is the enemy? What kind of existence is attacking us? Damn it! Is it that Dragon King? Is it? The group of rank 7 gods felt the terrifying energy attack, and their faces were filled with horror. Vast power of faith erupted from their bodies, and the shadows of their believers appeared one by one. However, in the face of this power, they could not resist at all. After all, the unsolvable domain was equivalent to a full-powered attack from a peak race. They naturally could not withstand it. Arg! Miserable screams rang out as the rank 7 gods fell rapidly. How is this possible? At this time, the remaining rank 6 gods, other gods, and believers looked at this scene in horror. Over 100 rank 7 gods were killed in an instant. What kind of power was this? Buzz, buzz, buzz. At this time, waves of energy surged towards the remaining gods and believers. The invincible and terrifying energy made them unable to resist it at all. In fact, many of the gods and believers did not even have the chance to scream. Within a few seconds, only a dozen out of over 1,000,000 believers and gods were left hovering in the air, looking around in despair. Buzz. But at this time, they felt a wave of energy surging into their minds. Following which, their eyes turned dull. Soul capture power! All the gods and believers of faith were dead, but he left a dozen of them alive to perform soul capture. He wanted to find out more about the other armies. With a wave of his arm, he collected all the corpses and resources. However, the only regret was that he could not use the treasures and weapons of the faith universe. To him, they were completely useless. Waves of information entered Wang Xian's mind, and the corner of his mouth curled up. According to the information in the minds of these dozen gods, he had a better understanding of the other armies of the faith universe. They've all scattered. There's a faith universe army closest to them, and it should be within Lin Wenluo's monitoring range. As for the other armies, I don't know, Wang Xian murmured. But he was satisfied with just one piece of information. Just one time and I've gained so much. This is a huge gain. Wang Xian waved his arm, and the unsolvable domain disappeared. He revealed a broad smile. This Faith Universe army was almost comparable to the strength of all the experts and disciples of the weaker races in the Nine-Source universe. And their heart of faith was a treasure for the experts and disciples of the Nine-Source universe to break through. This was a huge boost to the Dragon Palace. Continue, and try to wipe out 7 to 8 Faith Universe armies. Wang Xian grinned and said. He looked at Enlai, who was beside him. Enlai came to him and disappeared with him. They arrived at their temporary base. Xiao Xian, did you succeed? Lan Qingwei asked immediately when she saw Wang Xian. Yes, we've gained a lot this time, and we've also obtained some good news, said Wang Xian with a smile. The annihilation of the brilliant Sun Palace army was just the beginning. Chapter 3885. Lin Wenluo, monitor the direction on the right. Wang Xian received a message from the dozen rank 4 gods from the Radiant Sun Palace. There was an army of Faith army on the right. This area was within Lin Wenluo's detection range. Wang Xian ordered him. After which, he brought Lan Qingwei and flew in that direction. We should be able to reap some good rewards this time, Lan Qingwei said with a smile as she followed beside Wang Xian. Yeah, it should be good. Wang Xian nodded. Even if we can only wipe out 2 or 3 armies of Faith Army, our Dragon Palace will gain a lot of resources. One had to know that 2 or 3 armies of Faith Army would mean 200,000 God-level experts. Putting everything else aside, the hearts of gods from 200,000 God-level experts could easily allow the Dragon Palace to produce 200,000 Overlord-level existences. Not to mention the believers below the God level. Wang Xian flew on the right according to the memory of the God of Gods to see if he could meet them. Wang. Soon, Lin Wenluo sent a message. Wang Xian smiled when he saw the message. Lin Wenluo had detected the gods of Faith army not far away from him. However, unlike the previous time, there were only 100 of them this time. Moreover, these 100 gods of Faith army had discovered the detector he had set up. After receiving the message, Wang Xian immediately flew towards the location that Lin Wenluo had sent. He was only a few minutes away from that location. This should be the technology of the Nine-Source universe. Although the technology of the Nine-Source universe isn't very strong, it is extremely useful in terms of exploration and surveillance. Now, the only Nine-Source universe experts that can move around here are the Dragon King of Dragon Palace and the rest. This should be set up by the Dragon King of Dragon Palace. We have been discovered! At the same time, hundreds of gods were floating in the air not far away. They looked at the detector in front of them with grave expressions. One by one, they began to speculate. Their faces were a little unsightly as they looked at each other. Retreat immediately and tell the army behind us to stay away from here. Once we are targeted by the Dragon King of Dragon Palace, we will definitely die. Hurry! One of the rank 7 gods said. Following which, they fled towards the back without any hesitation. At the same time, they sent out a message. Different from the Brilliant Sun Palace, the Brilliant Sun Palace's army wasn't gathered together. Instead, they were divided into 5 small teams. Each team had hundreds of gods, and they were spread out in all directions. Once they encountered danger or any abnormalities, they could immediately be sent to the army in the center. The army in the center quickly reacted. This time, they had discovered the anomaly in advance. So. However, not long after they left, Wang Xian and Lan Qingwei appeared. It should be here. There's a faint fluctuation of the power of faith here. Lan Qingwei pointed to a direction and said, "All right, let's chase after them. They aren't as fast as us." Wang Xian made a move. With the help of the power of the star field fragment, he flew towards a direction rapidly. Found it. When Wang Xian and the group had been flying for about 5 minutes, several figures appeared in their vision. When Wang Xian saw the hundreds of gods, he broke into a smile. Not good, there's a terrifying force coming from behind. In front of them, a rank 7 god who was holding a symbol of faith in his hand realized that the symbol in his hand had suddenly changed. His expression changed as he let out a low roar and looked behind him immediately. When he looked over, his eyes narrowed slightly. He immediately saw a terrifying figure standing on a star and flying towards them. Beside him, there was an incomparably huge galactic beast. It's the Dragon King of Dragon Palace. Shit, report to the army immediately and get them to escape. The rank 7 god was horrified as he shouted loudly. Boom! At this moment, a wave of energy shrouded them. The powerful force caused their bodies to tremble violently. They felt the space around them changing drastically. They felt like they were in a viscous space and their speed had been reduced by more than 10 times. Hee, another one to beat up. Wang Xian looked at them with a smile. With a wave of his arm, starry energy shrouded them. When the starry specks of energy landed on their bodies, the gods were instantly killed. They didn't even have the chance to scream. It's the Dragon King of Dragon Palace and the rest. We're doomed. Lord Qing and the rest have been killed. This damned Dragon King of Dragon Palace, our faith universe will never let you off. There were 7 to 8 gods who weren't killed by Wang Xian. When they saw this scene, their bodies trembled violently. With bloodshot eyes, they looked at Wang Xian and roared loudly. Soul assimilation. Wang Xian heard their futile rage. With a wave of his arm, a wave of energy surged into their minds. Messages came one after another. The specific location of their Faith Universe army and all the information appeared in their minds. Let's go, Qingwei. Their army is still ahead. With a wave of his arm, Wang Xian kept all the corpses of the gods and flew forward. At this moment, the army at the front had already received the news from the front. Without any hesitation, the entire army immediately changed direction and flew towards the right. However, their speed was too slow. To Wang Xian and the rest, it was too slow. Their speed wasn't on the same level. Wang Xian's pursuit was a piece of cake. Seeing the 2nd million-strong army from afar, Wang Xian revealed a smile. Woo woo woo! Woo woo woo! Xiao Lam let out a low growl and flew over directly. Oh no, we've been discovered? How can this be? How can they be so fast? That giant galactic beast must be the Kuan that the ancient god of Dragon Palace used to feed the Kuan master. We're doomed. What a terrifying aura. Xiao Lan's low growl attracted the attention of all the gods and believers in the army. Seeing the horrifying giant beast flying towards them at high speed and sensing the invincible power coming from it, all of them revealed a look of despair. Looking at this army, Wang Xian revealed a smile. The 2nd million-strong army! What came next was no longer a battle. Instead, he took it down easily. The 2nd Faith Universe Army. This was also the 3rd Faith Universe Army that Wang Xian had annihilated. Continue. Chapter 3886. Damn it! Damn the Dragon King of the Dragon Palace! Damn the Dragon King! Our Amos Han Palace will never let you off. Never! The luminous Sun Palace had been annihilated, and so had the second palace. At the same time, an old man at the Faith Universe's passageway received a message. His face was filled with rage. He cursed angrily. Her? The elders of the other palaces frowned when they saw the Amos Han Palace elder cursing furiously all of a sudden. All of them turned to look at him. The Amos Han Palace has been annihilated too? The luminous Sun Palace elder asked the Amos Han Palace elder with a sullen face. Yes, it's the Dragon King of the Dragon Palace. The ancient god of the Dragon Palace, the Kuan Lord, has taken action and annihilated all the gods and believers in our army. That damned Dragon King! Once the calamity comes, the Amos Han Palace will annihilate them first. The Amos Han Palace elder bellowed with a murderous look. His eyes were filled with hatred. The million-strong army of the Amos Han Palace was made up of their elites. The annihilation of the million-strong army meant a huge loss to their core strength and foundation. They couldn't accept such a loss. They had stepped into the starry universe to improve their strength. Instead of improving their strength, they had suffered a huge blow. This was unacceptable to them. The army of the Amos Han Palace has been annihilated. The army of the luminous Sun Palace must have been annihilated by the Dragon King of the Dragon Palace. The elders and experts of the brilliant Sun Palace said with an embarrassed look on their faces. The luminous Sun Palace was the first to be annihilated. However, none of the gods and believers in the luminous Sun Palace had seen the culprit before their deaths. Now, it seemed that it was definitely the Dragon King of the Dragon Palace. 2 armies have been annihilated in such a short period of time. That's the army of the Dragon Palace. In the surrounding area, the experts of the palace all had solemn expressions on their faces. One by one, the elders immediately gave out their orders. They told the army of the Dragon Palace to be careful. However, even after they sent out the warnings, the worry on their faces didn't lessen. Because the Dragon King of the Dragon Palace was too strong. 2 cosmic giant beasts with strength comparable to the pinnacle gods. Furthermore, the Dragon King of Dragon Palace might even have gotten his hands on the galaxy fragment. Who would have thought that our entire conviction universe would be forced into such a state by a single power from the 9 Essences universe? An elder from the Imperial Palace said slowly with an embarrassed look on his face. Just the Dragon Palace alone was enough to make the entire Faith universe nervous. This was something that the universe they believed in had never expected. Buzz! Right at this moment, an incomparably vast energy suddenly appeared above all the experts of the Pantheon. A huge shadow formed by the power of faith appeared in the sky. The phantom was incomparably huge, as if it occupied an entire sky. This figure had 3 faces, left, right, and center. Each face had a different expression. Malevolence, kindness, and indifference. It's the King of Gods. Greetings, Pantheon King. When all the elders and powerhouses of the 24 palaces saw this figure emerge, their hearts trembled and they immediately bowed respectfully. Even if this King of Gods was not the supreme god of their palace. However, facing this figure, all the deity experts bowed respectfully. The title of King of Gods was not just for show. The galaxy fragment has been taken by the Dragon King of Dragon Palace. Order all the disciples to gather together. I will open up the teleportation channel and let them return safely. Amidst this vast voice, the lips of the face in the center moved and a voice was heard. The voice carried a strong magical power, as if anyone who heard this voice would worship him. It's the King of Gods. The group of elders who believed in the Cosmos Palace immediately replied respectfully. Supreme God, the Dragon Palace's Dragon King stole our Faith Universe's treasure land and killed our disciples. We must not let him off. The elder from Amos Han Palace lowered his head and said to the King of Gods with anger and hatred on his face. We are already aware of this matter. The Supreme God responded but didn't say anything else. Because even the Supreme Gods, did not know what to do. The galaxy fragment had been obtained by the Dragon King of Dragon Palace and had been used. In that case, he would have the power of a pinnacle deity. In addition, the ancient god Kun, breeder of Dragon Palace, was comparable to a pinnacle race. They did not have any good ideas. It was not that they could not kill the Dragon King, but they did not want to take the risk. The Faith Universe had a Sky Yuan fortune-grade treasure. If a rank 7 deity brought such a treasure into the Starry Universe, they could definitely kill the Dragon King of Dragon Palace. However, the risk was too great. If this treasure attracted the covetous eyes of the Starry Universe, it would be like throwing a meat bun at a dog. Therefore, they could not use such a treasure to kill a Dragon King. Without such a treasure, as the strongest expert below the supreme gods, would it be so easy to kill him? In addition, with the suppression of the Starry Universe, the chances of killing the Dragon King of Dragon Palace was too small. Even if there was a way, it was not worth it. The price was too high. Therefore, the Faith Universe could not do anything to the Dragon King of Dragon Palace. This time, the Faith Universe had not only gained nothing from entering the Starry Universe, but also suffered a great loss. As for the next step, they could only plan again. The elders of the Faith Universe Palace saw that the King of Gods did not respond and stood there helplessly. At this moment, they had no good ideas. It's a pity that we didn't get any useful information. At this moment, in the Starry Universe, Wang Xian had annihilated the army of Ami Mountain Palace. This time, he did not get any news from the Pantheon army of Ami Mountain Palace. This time, he was slightly disappointed. We have consecutively annihilated 2 armies of Ami Mountain Palace. I believe the Faith Universe has received the news. They will not let the other armies step into our territory, Lan Qingwei said from the side. Yes, now that they have a warning, it will be difficult to hunt them down. Wang Xian nodded and looked to the left. Lin Waluo did not set up any detectors on the left. Let's go there and try our luck. A universe was still too big. Although the Faith Universe army was a big target, it would still be difficult to find them. Next, it would depend on luck. Chapter 3887. Let's go. Wang Xian led Lan Qingwei and flew towards the left. They were fast. In order to better intercept them, Wang Xian flew closer to the Universe of Faith's passageway. His current speed was 10 times faster than the army of the Universe of Faith. After flying for a month, Wang Xian and the rest searched aimlessly. It felt like searching for a needle in a haystack. If not for the large number of needles, Wang Xian would not have made this attempt. But there was one good thing. The millions of gods and disciples of the Universe of Faith could not hide perfectly. Wang Xian could sense them as long as they left a place. As long as he sensed them, he could pursue them quickly. Moreover, the benefits of annihilating an army of faith were too great. Even if it was a waste of time and luck, Wang Xian would not give up. The Radiant Sun Palace and Amos Han Palace have been annihilated. Damn it, the Dragon King of Dragon Palace is really terrifying. Just as Wang Xian was searching for them, the news reached the army of the Universe of Faith. When they received the news, their faces turned ugly. In fact, they were even a little frightened. Those were 2 great armies, especially the army of Amos Han Palace. Their overall strength could be ranked at the top among the 24 palaces of the Universe of Faith. Even such a terrifying force was annihilated. Once they encountered the Dragon King of Dragon Palace, they would end up the same way. The universe is so vast. We might not be encountered, but we still have to be careful. In the void of the universe, an army of the Universe of Faith was flying forward rapidly. A rank 7 god said with a solemn expression. Once we encounter them, we won't be able to escape. The elders have sent news that the Faith Shards have been obtained by the Dragon King of Dragon Palace. The strength of the Dragon King of Dragon Palace is not something we can contend with. One of the rank 7 gods beside him said, his expression unsettled. Once we encounter them, we will be annihilated for sure. I think we can split up and escape towards our passageway of faith, a rank 7 god suggested. His suggestion caused the surrounding rank 7 gods to fall into deep thought. If they were separated, then their legions wouldn't be completely annihilated. Everyone would have to depend on their own luck. There were pros and cons to this. Once they were separated, the chances of encountering the Dragon King of the Dragon Palace would increase. Let me ask the Elder. I'll listen to the Elder's orders, one of the rank 7 gods said. From the Elder's point of view, we should be separated. After all, none of the palaces can withstand the risk of being completely destroyed. This risk is simply too great, one of the rank 7 gods said slowly. The rest of the gods nodded and looked at each other. Then let's split up. We'll split up into small teams and head to the path of faith. Everyone, good luck, one of the rank 7 gods said. All right. The other rank 7 gods nodded in agreement. Soon after, the entire army of 1,000,000 soldiers was divided into hundreds of smaller groups and flew in different directions. Using this method, the chances of encountering the Dragon King of the Dragon Palace increased greatly. But the biggest advantage was that the entire army would not be annihilated. This method was also the most helpless choice. It wasn't just this army of faith that was flying towards the path of faith. There was also a large portion of the army of faith that had split up the entire army. Because no palace could bear the loss of an entire army being destroyed. Time passed day by day. The group of gods and believers of the universe army flew with trepidation. Compared to the speed of the entire army, their speed was reduced by about 10 times. Each small team consisted of rank 7 and rank 6 gods. A few months passed in the blink of an eye. Wang Xian led Lan Qingwei in an aimless search in the starry universe. At this moment, his mind flickered and he looked in a certain direction. He could vaguely sense the aura of the power of faith in that direction. I sensed it. Let's go over. Wang Xian was delighted as he flew in that direction. His speed was fast. But in less than 10 minutes, a team of more than 100 believers and believers of the universe appeared in his sight. Out of the more than 100 gods and believers, only 10 of them were at the level of gods. Did they split up? Lan Qingwei raised her eyebrows and asked. There were only slightly more than 100 gods and believers. This number was too little. You'll know when you see them. Wang Xian chuckled. With a swift move, he flew towards them instantly. In front of them, before the more than 100 believers of the universe could react, they saw a figure appear next to them. When they saw the face of this figure, their pupils shrank and their faces were filled with despair. It's the Dragon King, one of the believers exclaimed in horror. Wang Xian didn't say much. He waved his arm and a wave of energy charged towards them. Rank 7 gods? Even if Wang Xian didn't use the Star Jade fragment, he could still kill them easily. A wave of energy swept across and the horrifying power drowned over 100 gods of faith in an instant. Arg! Only that rank 7 gods let out a scream. Other than the few gods that Wang Xian deliberately left alive, the rest were all dead. Soul assimilation. At the same time, he waved his arm and cast the soul assimilation force at the other gods. Due to the unique nature of the power of faith, Wang Xian couldn't cast the soul assimilation force on those of the same level as him. After casting the soul assimilation force, a stream of information entered his mind. The army of faith in this palace has been completely broken up and divided into hundreds of smaller teams. Hee. Wang Xian said to Lan Qingwei with a smile. Oh? Xiao Xian, do you know where the other teams are? Lan Qingwei raised her eyebrows and asked. I have a rough idea. There's a team closest to here with more than 200 gods. Wang Xian replied. In that case, even if their army breaks up the gods and believers, we can still hunt them down one by one. Xiao Xian, I think we can split up. We can even let Xiao Lan and the rest act alone. Lan Qingwei suggested. Sure. Wang Xian nodded. This time, if he could hunt down more gods of faith, he would do so. This was a bountiful resource. Chapter 3888, Swoosh Swoosh Swoosh. Wang Xian and Lan Qingwei split up. Wang Xian flew in one direction according to the information he received. His speed was very fast, and the distance between him and the other team was also not very far. After searching the surroundings for 2 days, Wang Xian sensed the aura of the power of faith. This caused the corners of his mouth to curl up slightly, and a smile appeared on his face. After flying for a few minutes, a team of over 200 people appeared in his sight. Swoosh, swoosh. He increased his speed and came to the front of the team in an instant. Ha! Oh no, it's the Dragon King of the Dragon Palace. We're doomed! When Wang Xian appeared in front of them, they immediately revealed looks of horror and despair. Hee hee! Wang Xian chuckled and flew over. A wave of energy shrouded them all. Other than a few gods, he killed the rest. I got some more information. Not bad! Wang Xian obtained 2 pieces of information from the memories of the few gods. These 2 pieces of information were the direction of the other 2 teams. Although the army of the Dragon Palace had split up, they were still familiar with each other, as they were from the same palace. Moreover, they had just separated not long ago. Therefore, they knew the general direction. Wang Xian moved his body and chased after the 2 directions in his mind. 5 days later, Wang Xian appeared beside a small team again. He went straight over and killed them. 7 days later, he found the 4th team. In just a few months, Wang Xian had annihilated 4 small teams and 50 to 60 deities. Among them, there were 3 rank 7 gods. This was a good harvest. 1-1. At this time, Wang Xian received a message from Lan Qingwei. Lan Qingwei had found a team of tens of thousands of Faith Universe Army members. When Wang Xian received the news, he flew over immediately. It was a team of tens of thousands of Faith Universe Army members. It would be a piece of cake for Lan Qingwei to wipe them out. However, Lan Qingwei did not have the soul assimilating power. She was purely relying on luck to find them. Clearly, she was very lucky. She found a team of tens of thousands of Faith Universe Army members. When Wang Xian rushed over, Lan Qingwei pointed to the front. It's over there. A team of 10,000 Faith Universe Army members. I didn't wipe them out, Lan Qingwei said. The reason why she did not destroy it was to make it easier for Wang Xian to use his soul assimilation power to obtain more information. Wang Xian nodded with a smile and flew over immediately. A suffocating energy enveloped them. The terrifying power caused all the members of the 10,000-man team to reveal expressions of despair and fear. What happened next was abnormally easy. After obtaining a lot of information, Wang Xian passed the information to Lan Qingwei. Then, they continued hunting. As the days passed, the number of believers and gods that died in their hands kept increasing. As Wang Xian and the rest continued their hunt, the situation was getting worse. Millions of worshippers and gods of the Universe Army died one after another. The news also reached the Faith Universe's passageway. The elders and powerhouses of Faith Universe all had ugly expressions on their faces, but there was nothing they could do. They could only send this news to the gods and believers in the Starry Sky Universe. When the gods and believers in the Starry Sky Universe received this news, their expressions were as ugly as could be. They had never imagined that their faith cosmos, a group of experts, would actually be pursued like this after coming to the Starry Sky Cosmos. Like prey, they were killed one by one. This made them feel extremely aggrieved. Powerlessness and fear. All the gods and believers of the Faith Universe were worried that they would bump into the Dragon King and the rest. Because once they did, the outcome would be death. They did not dare to rest and flew towards the Faith Universe's passageway with all their might. Time passed day by day, and the hunt continued. Based on Wang Xian's speed to the gods and believers of the Faith Universe, if they wanted to fly to the Faith Universe's passageway, they would need at least 400 years. In other words, he could hunt for more than 400 years. As the days passed, the gods and believers died in Wang Xian's hands one by one. The harvest was also increasing day by day. After more than 200 years, the number of gods and believers that died in the hands of Wang Xian was almost equivalent to the total number of the Faith Legion. Faced with such a loss, the Faith Universe could do nothing. At this moment, at the location of the Faith Universe's passageway, a large number of experts from the 24 palaces had gathered at the exit of the passageway. They stared in the direction of the starry sky universe, their eyes filled with anger and murderous intent. Get ready! If the Dragon Palace really dares to come close to the Passage of Faith and wait for us to come and hunt us, we'll go in directly and eliminate them. As time passed, the gods and believers of the Faith Universe's army were getting closer and closer to the exit. However, the closer they were to the passageway, the experts of the Faith Universe were increasingly worried that the Dragon King of the Dragon Palace would be lying in wait. Once the Dragon King of the Dragon Palace guarded the exit, he could easily slaughter all the gods and believers of the Faith Universe. Therefore, a large number of experts from the 24 palaces of the Faith Universe had gathered here. There were more than 100 pinnacle existences among the gods gathered here. Once there was any problem, they would fly into the starry sky universe without hesitation. As this was the border, they would have enough time to retreat even if they were detected by the Heaven Yuan creation starry sky beast in the starry sky universe. Therefore, as long as the Dragon King of the Dragon Palace appeared near their passageway, they would have the guts to enter and annihilate him. The time was getting closer and closer. Wang Xian had been hunting the gods and believers of the Faith Universe for more than 300 years. At this time, they were getting closer and closer to the location of the Faith Universe's passageway. Let's stop. This time's hunt is over. Wang Xian and Lan Qingwei hovered in the void. He hesitated for a moment before speaking. All right, further ahead is the passageway to the Faith Universe. If they have Heaven Yuan creation beasts there, it will be very dangerous for us. Our harvest over the past few hundred years has been very bountiful, Lan Qingwei said with a smile. In the past few hundred years of pursuit, apart from the two armies that they had annihilated at the beginning, they had also annihilated at least the sum of the experts and believers of the two armies of the Faith Universe. The harvest this time could not be considered small. Wang Xian and the rest were not greedy and stopped in time. The resources in their hands were sufficient to upgrade the Dragon Palace to a very powerful level. Let's go back! Wang Xian smiled at Lan Qingwei with satisfaction. Chapter 3889. Wang Xian and Lan Qingwei left. They did not go to the Starry Sky City. Instead, they went to the Lightning Treasured Land. The Lightning Treasured Land could be said to be one of the great treasured lands of the Dragon Palace. The value of such a treasured land was extremely high. Even pinnacle races would fight for it if they encountered it. The resources of the Dragon Palace are enough to last us for 1 billion years. Wang Xian counted the spoils in his hands with a smile on his face. This was equivalent to the harvest of 4 faith legions. That was close to 200,000 corpses of gods. In addition, there were close to 300 corpses of 7th Order gods previously. There were more than 4 million corpses of 8th Order, 9th Order, and Pinnacle Venerable Realm experts. These resources were enough to last the Dragon Palace for 1 billion years. It was enough to increase the strength of the Dragon Palace to a terrifying level. It was enough to make the Dragon Palace catch up with other pinnacle races in terms of strength. Perhaps the only thing the Dragon Palace lacked was the combat strength of 7th Order sovereigns and above. Only Wang Xian and Lan Qingwei could support this level of combat strength. However, their strength was enough to be invincible in the universe. Xiao Xian, are you going to refine the stellar domain fragment before returning? Lan Qingwei asked Wang Xian. Yes, I have an idea. First, we will refine the stellar domain fragment completely. Then, we will go to the place where we encountered the crystal energy. That crystal beast is very strong, comparable to our pinnacle sovereign realm experts. But as long as I refine the stellar domain fragment, together with you and Xiao Lan, we will be able to destroy it. In this way, Xiao Zhai and Xiao Bai will have enough energy to increase their strength, Wang Xian said. As for the matter with the Phoenix race, we will return immediately after dealing with the crystal beast, he said. Currently, there were 4 7th Order sovereign galactic beasts with the Phoenix race. It was not 100% certain that these 4 7th Order sovereign galactic beasts were the subordinates of the chaotic galactic beasts. It was also not 100% certain that the Beast King token would be useful to them. Wang Xian would make his move after he was done with all his preparations. First, he would refine the stellar domain fragment. After refining it, the crystal energy and the crystal beast in the ocean would be destroyed. This way, Xiao Bai and Xiao Zhai would have enough energy to increase their strength. After that, Wang Xian and Lan Qingwei would be able to destroy the 4 7th-order sovereign galactic beasts with ease. Sure! Lan Qingwei nodded her head. I'll refine it first. As Wang Xian spoke, he immediately took out the star zone fragment. Wang Xian had only refined a small portion of the entire stellar zone fragment. A heavenly origin fortune star domain fragment was very powerful, even if it was only 1/5 of its original size. However, he could still use it to unleash terrifying destructive power. At present, Wang Xian could make use of the star field fragments to cast Rapid Meteor, Star Field Space Lock, 8 Stars Alignment, Blazing Meteor, Heavy Sky, and Desolate Star Field. These names were given by Wang Xian himself. Some of the attacking moves were used by the gods of the universe of belief against him. Wang Xian sat cross-legged in the Thunder Realm and quietly nurtured himself. To complete this nurturing process, it would take at least tens of thousands of years. However, he was not in a hurry. Time passed quickly. At the same time, at the location of the Faith Universe Passage, all the gods and believers of the palace had escaped and gathered at the entrance of the passage. Some of the experts in the palaces glanced at the gods and believers in their own palaces, their faces extremely ugly. This time, their 24 palaces' losses were simply too great. Since the Faith Universe entered the Starry Universe, the losses of the gods and disciples were simply too great. In particular, most of the losses were caused by the Dragon King of the Dragon Palace. King of Gods, what should we do now? The Dragon King of the Dragon Palace is too strong. We are no match for him. An elder looked at the King of Gods and spoke with an embarrassed look. With the suppression of the Starry Universe, it will be difficult to kill the Dragon King of the Dragon Palace. You can decide what to do next. Take your time. If you can eliminate the Dragon King of the Dragon Palace, then so be it. If not, we will annihilate the Dragon Palace first when the cataclysm begins. The huge and imposing three-faced figure in the center said plainly. After he finished speaking, he disappeared. As for the Dragon King of the Dragon Palace, he did not intend to make a move now. The cataclysm had not begun, and they could not enter the Starry Universe. Once they entered, there was a high possibility that they would die in there. Therefore, he would let his disciples decide what to do next. Seeing the King of Gods leave, the rest of the gods and believers were a little displeased. The experts of the 24 palaces looked at each other helplessly. The Starry Universe is huge. Although the Dragon King of the Dragon Palace is strong, he can't keep hunting our disciples of the Faith Universe. Let's first send some rank 7 and rank 6 gods into the Starry Universe to search for resources. After a long silence, an elder of the 24 palaces said, In that case, the 24 palaces will work together for the time being. An elder of the 24 palaces nodded and said, Soon, the 24 palaces came to an agreement. They would first send their experts into the Starry Universe to slowly develop and search for treasures and resources. Although it was extremely sullen, at least it would not be too dangerous. This time, the Faith Universe was completely subdued by the Dragon King of the Dragon Palace. Time continued to flow. Thousands and tens of thousands of years passed in the blink of an eye. The Faith Universe's wretchedness was a very good thing for the experts and disciples of the 9 Essences universe. The experts and disciples of the peak and advanced races once again embarked on the path of searching for opportunities. However, as time passed, the matter that the 9 Essences universe's experts and disciples were looking forward to did not happen. After so much time had passed, the Dragon Palace had not taken revenge on the Phoenix race. This caused many thoughts and guesses to appear in the minds of the experts and disciples of the 9 Essences universe to discuss. The Dragon Palace has not taken revenge on the Phoenix race yet. It should be because of the 4 7th-order sovereign star beasts. There's no need to mention the strength of the Dragon Palace's Dragon King. He definitely has the combat strength of a peak sovereign realm expert. However, the star beast that the Phoenix race invited is also very terrifying. The strength of the Dragon Palace's Dragon King and the others shouldn't be enough to deal with 4 7th-order sovereign star beasts. I don't think it's a shame. The Dragon King and the others are already very powerful. The Dragon Palace's Dragon King is my idol. I support the Dragon Palace and the Dragon King. Now that the Phoenix race has an ally, it won't be too late to take revenge when the Dragon Palace's strength increases. We can't be impulsive. Chapter 3890. More than 10,000 years had passed, and the Dragon Palace had not taken revenge on the Phoenix race. Many people were surprised, but at the same time, they felt that it was normal. Many experts and disciples were in favor of the Dragon Palace's actions. After all, the Phoenix race had found 4 allies, 4 7th-order sovereign realm giant space beasts. Ever since the Dragon King and the others had pinned down the entire faith cosmos and forced their army to flee, the Dragon King had become the idol of many experts and disciples in the 9 Origins cosmos. Even some of the experts from the peak races were full of admiration for the Dragon King of Dragon Palace. The rise of the Dragon King and his path of invincibility had become the topic of discussion. Therefore, it was normal that the Dragon Palace had not taken revenge on the Phoenix race in the past 10,000 years. No other experts and disciples said that the Dragon Palace was afraid of the Phoenix race. On the contrary, they supported the Dragon King to give up on taking revenge for the time being. They would take revenge when they were stronger. The Dragon Palace's prestige had unknowingly begun to rise. Haha, success! The second 7th-order sovereign giant space beast! The second one! Ha! At the same time, a group of phoenixes and angels flapped their wings and floated in front of the Dragon Palace. A look of excitement appeared on the faces of the phoenixes. There were 6 7th-order sovereign giant space beasts on the left, right, and center. The 7th-order sovereign giant space beast in the center was covered in wounds, and its aura was weak. Its head was lowered at this moment. Brothers of the Phoenix race, it's our angel race's turn. An archangel at the 7th-order sovereign realm looked at the phoenixes and said with a smile, "Of course, according to our agreement." One of the phoenixes nodded his head. Hee, as long as our angel race subdues 2 more 7th-order sovereign giant space beasts, we can destroy the Dragon Palace. An archangel said with a smile. That's for sure. At that time, even if the green cherry giant space beast doesn't make a move, we can destroy it. An expert from the Phoenix race said with a smile. The experts of the Dragon Palace were deliberately killed by our Phoenix clan. Now that more than 10,000 years have passed, the Dragon King of the Dragon Palace still doesn't dare to take any action. He must be afraid of the 4 existences of the green cherry star beast. The strength of the Dragon Palace's Dragon King is at most 2 or 3 existences that are comparable to peak sovereign realm experts. Absolutely. The Dragon Palace even said that we would pay a heavy price? Once you have successfully tamed the angels, we will annihilate the Dragon King of the Dragon Palace. The Phoenix's faces were cold and filled with killing intent as they spoke. The Angel Clan's experts also smiled and nodded. It had been more than 10,000 years since the Cyan Ing Star Behemoth clan had arrived. The Phoenix clan had spent a great deal of resources to invite him over. It wasn't just for deterrence. Instead, they had paid a price for the 4 7th-order sovereign realm giant beasts to help them tame the 7th-order sovereign realm giant beasts. It was much easier to tame a giant star beast without intelligence or civilization. Of course, it wasn't easy to tame a 7th-order sovereign realm star beast. The main reason was that the foundation of the Phoenix clan was too deep. After all, they were a very powerful apex race. He had accumulated quite a lot of treasures. Taming giant space beasts was something that the various peak powers had been doing for a long time. It was just that none of them had the strength to tame a 7th-order sovereign realm giant space beast. The Phoenix clan had borrowed the help of 4 7th-order sovereign realm giant space beasts to tame them. Moreover, they had called the Angel clan over to exchange some resources and benefits. In exchange, they had helped them tame two 7th-order sovereign realm giant space beasts. As long as they succeeded, they would have the battle strength of 2 peak sovereign realm experts. At that time, why would they need to be afraid of the Dragon Palace? They could even take the initiative to attack the Dragon Palace. Days passed, and in the blink of an eye, another 10,000 years had passed. In these 10,000 years, everything had calmed down. The experts and disciples of the various peak powers had once again embarked on their journey of searching for opportunities and resources. From time to time, news of an expert's breakthrough would come from the communication stone plate. However, in these 10,000 years, the experts and disciples of the Phoenix Clan and Angel Clan had become more active. From the communication stone plate, whenever an expert praised the Dragon King of the Dragon Palace, they would receive a disdainful reply from the Phoenix Clan and Angel Clan. Gradually, in the end, experts from the Phoenix Clan and Angel Clan expressed that they were not afraid of the Dragon King of the Dragon Palace. The Dragon King of the Dragon Palace is very strong? That's because they have the ancient god Kun Breeder. The Dragon Palace is only supported by the ancient god Kun Breeder and the Dragon King of the Dragon Palace. There are no other powerful disciples. The Dragon Palace said that they would make our Phoenix Clan pay the price. Now that 20,000 years have passed, isn't our Phoenix Clan still doing well? Would they dare to be impudent with our Phoenix Clan? The Dragon Palace is lucky. If we were in the Nine Origins universe, would the Dragon Palace dare to provoke our Phoenix Clan and Angel Clan? They would have been annihilated long ago. They said that they would make the Phoenix Clan pay the price. What happened? Why is the Dragon Palace holding up? The experts and disciples of the Phoenix Clan and the Angel Clan were ridiculing them through the communication stone plate. This caused many experts who admired the Dragon King of the Dragon Palace to retaliate. However, there were experts from the Phoenix Clan who retaliated. The experts of the Dragon Palace were killed by our Phoenix Clan on purpose. It has been more than 20,000 years. Would the Dragon Palace dare to take revenge? Hee. His words rendered many people speechless. In the universe, strength reigned supreme. Even if many experts and disciples were unhappy, strength spoke louder than words. Buzz, buzz, buzz! Wang Xian had no idea what was happening in the outside world. At this moment, he was fully focused on nurturing the stellar sector fragment. 20,000 years had passed. On this day, the stellar sector fragment gradually entered Wang Xian's body. The silhouettes of planets slowly appeared around him. Every illusory image of a planet contained horrifying power. Wang Xian revealed a smile when he saw this. He had completely refined and nurtured the stellar sector fragment successfully. Now, this stellar sector fragment truly belonged to him. The stellar sector fragment entered his body. At the same time, Wang Xian could feel the horrifying power in his body. This power was vast and invincible. He felt that even if he were to face Xiaolan, he would be able to kill it easily. After refining it completely, the offensive means of the stellar sector fragment had increased significantly. This was not something that the 8-rank 7 celestial beings could compare to. Chapter 3891. How strong am I now? After the successful cultivation and refinement of the stellar zone fragment, it was equivalent to becoming one with Wang Xian. Once the stellar zone fragment was taken away, he would also suffer great damage. Now that the cultivation was successful, he could borrow the power of the stellar zone fragment at will. He had no idea how strong Wang Xian was now. Qinghua, attack me with Xiaolan. I want to test my strength. Wang Xian smiled and said to Lan Qinghua. Huh! All right. Lan Qinghua nodded with a smile. Before the refinement, Wang Xian could make use of the power of the stellar zone fragment to match the combined power of her and Xiaolan. Now that it was completely refined, it would be even more terrifying. Therefore, she wasn't worried about hurting Wang Xian. Woo-woo! Lan Qinghua and Xiaolan flew out with Wang Xian. Lan Qinghua conjured a grayish long spear while Xiaolan conjured a grayish kun shadow. They attacked Wang Xian directly. This was close to their full strength. Wang Xian sensed the attack and waved his arm. Stellar Zone Barrier. A dazzling barrier appeared in front of Wang Xian. The barrier was huge. Not only did it block Wang Xian's body, but it also blocked the starry sky. Boom, boom, boom. Lan Qingwei and Xiao Lan's attacks landed on the stellar zone barrier and produced loud explosions. However, the stellar zone barrier didn't fluctuate at all. Not even the slightest fluctuation. Wang Xian's eyes sparkled when he saw this. This defense was almost invincible among those of the same level. It should be able to withstand 2 or 3 of this level of power. Wang Xian calculated in his heart and revealed a satisfied look. This stellar domain fragment was simply too great of a boost to him. Be it in the Starry Sky universe or the Nine Source universe. If Wang Xian returned to the Nine Source universe now, he could easily kill Pinnacle Sovereigns with the help of this stellar zone fragment. Even if his strength hadn't improved, he could still do so with the help of this stellar zone fragment. This was extremely terrifying. Of course, there was a precondition. This Pinnacle Sovereign didn't have treasures like the stellar zone fragment. As for whether the Pinnacle races had such treasures, Wang Xian wasn't sure. However, there was an 80% chance that he possessed a treasure of this level. After all, the top races might not have treasures of the Heavenly Yuan Fortune level, but it was still possible to obtain treasures of this level. Xiao Xian, how is it? Lan Qingwei flew over and asked with a smile. If it's just defense, it can withstand at least 5 or 6 full-powered attacks from people of the same level. Wang Xian chuckled. However, speaking of which, this starfield fragment can be considered a Heavenly Yuan creation treasure that leans towards attacking. The attack of this starfield fragment is even more terrifying. If that's the case, then once you return to the Nine Origins cosmos, as long as you absorb all the resources, wouldn't you be much stronger than a peak sovereign? Lan Qingyue's eyes sparkled as she spoke. Yes. Wang Xian nodded his head. Currently, he still had a lot of resources in his hands. These resources were enough to raise his cultivation by 2 realms. In other words, he would be able to fight against a 9th Order sovereign. At that time, he would be able to open up the starfield fragment to gather more energy. As long as a peak sovereign realm expert didn't possess any powerful treasures, he would be able to kill them easily. As for how strong he would be at that time, no one knew. A heavenly primordial fortune level treasure was too terrifying. Take the progenitor tree for example. It had yet to fully mature, but it was already displaying such terrifying power. This was something that many pinnacle races couldn't imagine. To a certain extent, a Heavenly Yuan creation treasure might be even rarer than a Heavenly Yuan creation treasure expert. Even if it was just a fragment, it was exceptionally terrifying. Let's go. Let's get rid of that crystal beast first. After that, we'll return to the Nine Origins cosmos. Wang Xian continued speaking to Lan Qingwei. All right. Lan Qingwei nodded her head. Wang Xian waved his arm, and a meteor appeared beneath his feet. He led them towards a direction at a terrifying speed. This speed was much faster than before. A few days later, Wang Xian arrived at the sea region where he was trapped once again. He had been trapped here for more than 30 million years. He had a clear understanding of everything here. His target was the crystal domain. He flew straight towards it. It's just ahead. After flying for another half an hour, Wang Xian looked at the crystals in front of him with sparkling eyes. He had completely retracted the power of the star field fragment. After retracting it, his aura had weakened significantly. It was the aura of a 7th Order sovereign. This aura was already very weak in this area. Lan Qingwei also retracted her aura, while Xiaolan waited outside for the time being. They flew towards the inside. This way. Wang Xian scanned the ordinary crystals around him. After checking the direction, he flew towards the place in his memory. Previously, Wang Xian had lured the 8 deities over and they were easily defeated by the giant crystal beast. However, although that crystal beast was strong, it was only slightly stronger than a 7th Order sovereign star beast. It would be a little difficult to deal with 2 7th Order sovereign star beasts. When he arrived at the place where there were more than 50 energy crystals, he realized that they had disappeared. Previously, the energy crystals were kept by one of the gods. After the crystal beast killed that 7th order sovereign star beast, it must have changed the location of the energy crystals or absorbed them. Wan Xian said to Lan Qingwei, "Let's go and check out other places." Lan Qingwei nodded her head. Now that the star field fragment was here, Wan Xian did not have to be as careful as before. Instead, he flew straight into the depths of the star field fragment. Back then, he did not dare to step into the depths of the star field fragment. As they flew deeper, they kept a close eye on their surroundings. "There's the aura of energy crystals over there." After flying for 2 days, Lan Qingwei sensed something and pointed in a direction. "Let's go over. This should be the territory of the crystal beast. If we touch the energy crystals here, we will definitely be attacked by the crystal beast," Wan Xian said as he flew towards the direction Lan Qingwei pointed. Soon, 3 crystals that contained massive energy appeared in his sight. Wan Xian's eyes lit up when he saw the energy crystals. After flying for 2 days, he had already encountered energy crystals. This was clearly a treasure land. Clearly, there was a powerful existence guarding this place. Wan Xian looked around. With a wave of his arm, a dragon claw grabbed towards the energy crystals. Chapter 3892, 1. The dragon claw grabbed the energy crystal and flew towards Wan Xian. Looking at the energy crystal flying over, he scanned his surroundings with a vigilant look in his eyes. Wan Xian had no idea how many energy crystals there were in this area. Therefore, he still had to be careful even though his strength had increased tremendously. Roar! Roar! Just as the energy crystal was about to reach Wan Xian, a roar filled with murderous intent reverberated. Not far away from him, a giant crystal beast flew out from an ordinary crystal and attacked Wan Xian and the rest. "It's out!" Wan Xian's eyes lit up when he saw the giant crystal beast. "It doesn't look like the one we met previously." Lan Qingyue's eyes lit up when she saw it. Wan Xian nodded slightly. This giant crystal beast wasn't as strong as the previous one. Its strength was also comparable to a pinnacle sovereign realm expert. However, it was weaker than the previous one. "Blazing meteor!" Wan Xian moved his palm without any hesitation. With a wave of his arm, a blazing meteor flew out from his palm and attacked the giant crystal beast. Boom! The blazing meteor landed on the giant crystal beast instantly. The terrifying speed was as though it had teleported. Bam, bam, bam! A blood-curdling scream was heard as the body of the giant crystal beast cracked and collapsed gradually. Wan Xian revealed a smile when he saw this. This was the terrifying attack power of the star field fragment. Instant kill. A complete instant kill. With a wave of his arm, the broken body of the giant crystal beast flew towards him. Wan Xian sensed the boundless energy contained within. "Another one should be enough for me to break through." He passed the energy crystal to Lan Qingwei and said with a smile, "There might be more than 1 or 2 giant crystal beasts in this area." Lan Qingwei took it over and said after checking it out, "Yes. If that's the case, let's hunt here." Wan Xian nodded and continued to fly deeper into the area. Once again, he traversed through this special area. However, this time, he only found a dozen energy crystals after half a month. There should be one nearby. Wan Xian looked at the dozen energy crystals in front of him with a smile. Using the same method, he formed a dragon claw again and grabbed at the energy crystals. When the energy crystal was grabbed by Wan Xian once again, as expected, the roaring sound was heard again. Wan Xian squinted his eyes as he looked at the giant crystal beast that suddenly emerged from a crystal. "This one looks like the one we met back then," he murmured as he sensed the power of this crystal beast. Wan Xian opened up his 5 fingers and a star hovered above each finger. With a flick of his finger, the 5 stars enlarged and charged towards the giant crystal beast. Roar! The moment the giant crystal beast flew out, it sensed the attack of the 5-fingered stars. It sensed the terrifying power coming from them, and its pupils shrank. It quickly stopped and flew towards an ordinary crystal. The giant crystal beast's innate ability allowed it to instantly enter an ordinary crystal and teleport within the crystal. It was similar to the abyss dragon's transformation. Every normal crystal was a medium for their transformation. Trying to escape? Wang Xian smiled. With a slight shake of his body, a grayish star appeared above his head. Chong Kong! He growled. Bam bam bam! The grayish star released a wave of energy that swept across the surroundings. At the same time, the surrounding crystals began to crumble rapidly. The coverage was terrifying. All of this happened in an instant. As the crystals crumbled, the giant crystal beast appeared in Wang Xian's sight. It let out a furious roar and charged towards Wang Xian directly. Courting death! Wang Xian moved his palm, and the five-fingered stars that had yet to disappear turned and charged towards the giant crystal beast again. Boom boom boom! Another violent collision was heard, and the body of the giant crystal beast crumbled rapidly. It turned into pieces of energy crystals. Xiao Xian, your strength is really strong! Lan Qingwei couldn't help but exclaim. This giant crystal beast should be the one that was chasing after Wang Xian and the 8 deities. Back then, the 8 deities were no match for it with the help of the star domain fragments, and a few of them were killed. But now that Wang Xian had completely refined the power of the star domain fragments, he could easily kill it. It's a heavenly yuan creation-level treasure. That's amazing! Wang Xian chuckled. He waved his arm and kept the corpse of the giant crystal beast. Now I should have enough energy to upgrade my body. Enough! Lan Qingwei nodded with a smile. There should be quite a number of energy crystals left, which can help Xiao Bai improve significantly. In that case, let's continue searching here and collect all the energy needed to upgrade Xiao Bai, Wang Xian said. Lan Qingwei naturally had no objections. Next, Wang Xian and the rest continued their search. In this area, the strongest giant crystal beast was only at the 7th order sovereign realm. After all, this was the ocean at the edge of the infinite starry sky, and there weren't any powerful existences here. In the next few months, Wang Xian and the rest hunted 2 more giant crystal beasts. One was at the 6th order sovereign realm, and the other was at the 7th order sovereign realm. These 2 giant crystal beast corpses were enough for Xiao Bai to complete her breakthrough. Next, they searched for a few more months, and almost searched the entire area. After finding nothing, Wang Xian was ready to leave. Let's go back, Wang Xian said to Lan Qingwei. Lan Qingwei nodded. Wang Xian took out the communication stone plate and contacted Enlai and Prime Minister Turtle. Dozens of seconds later, Wang Xian and Lan Qingwei appeared in a mansion. This was the territory of the giant starry sky city, Dragon Palace. In the giant starry sky city, all the pinnacle races had their own territory. Although the territory wasn't huge, it was enough for the experts of the pinnacle races to stay and rest. Greetings, Dragon King! Prime Minister Turtle was already waiting at the side when he saw Wang Xian. He greeted him respectfully. Is there any news recently? Wang Xian asked Prime Minister Turtle with a smile. Dragon King, there isn't any news for the time being. However, the Phoenix Tribe and the Angel Tribe are very arrogant in the communication stone plate. Some powerhouses of the Phoenix Tribe even admitted that they had deliberately killed over a dozen of our disciples, Prime Minister Turtle said. In that case, the Phoenix race isn't afraid of us at all because they have 4 7th order sovereign realm giant beasts. Wang Xian smiled faintly and said. Chapter 3893. Dragon King, I feel that the Phoenix race's reliance isn't just on the 4 7th order sovereign realm giant space beasts. During this period of time, this old subject has sent people to investigate the Phoenix race's situation. Even though they didn't manage to obtain any concrete information, they discovered that the Phoenix race and the 4 7th order sovereign realm giant space beasts have been carrying out several operations. I don't know the specifics, but I have a guess. They might have borrowed the strength of the 4 giant space beasts to achieve something. They might have obtained some treasures or resources, or used the 4 giant space beasts to tame other powerful giant space beasts. Otherwise, the Phoenix race wouldn't have dared to be so arrogant. Prime Minister Turtle reported to Wang Xian. Oh? Wang Xian raised his eyebrows slightly when he heard Prime Minister Turtle's words. It wasn't impossible to tame other powerful giant space beasts with the help of 4 7th-order Sovereign Realm giant space beasts. In fact, since the beginning, the top races and experts in the 9 Origins universe had been taming all kinds of giant space beasts. Because the giant space beasts weren't suppressed by the universe, they could play a greater role with resources. Therefore, the Phoenix race could really make use of the 4 giant space beasts to tame other 7th-order Sovereign Realm giant space beasts. In that case, the strength of the Phoenix race isn't as simple as we thought. Wang Xian narrowed his eyes and said, I feel that if they are really taming other giant space beasts, they can at most tame 2 or 3 7th-order Sovereign Realm giant space beasts in 10 to 20,000 years. After all, the resources and price needed to tame giant space beasts of this level are extremely high, Prime Minister Turtle said. Wang Xian nodded his head. He was also slightly surprised by this news. The top races were indeed the top races. Qingwei, how long will it take for Xiao Zhai and Xiao Bai to improve? Wang Xian looked at Lan Qingwei and asked. Another 2,000 years or so, Lan Qingwei answered. Currently, Wang Xian wasn't sure how strong he was. However, it shouldn't be a problem for him to deal with 5 or 6 7th-order Sovereign Realm giant space beasts. If he went all out, he should be able to kill 3 7th-order Sovereign Realm giant space beasts. If the Phoenix clan had really tamed a 7th-order Sovereign Realm giant star beast, in addition to the 4 7th-order Sovereign Realm space beasts, Wang Xian might not be able to annihilate them all by himself. But if Xiao Zhai, Xiao Bai, and the others improved, it would be a different story. With the addition of Whitey, Lan Qingwei, and Xiaolan, they were able to deal with 10 7th-order Sovereign Realm space beasts. Even if there were 8 to 9 7th-order Sovereign Realm space beasts, they would be able to grind them to death with time. Sure, we will make a move against the Phoenix clan in 2,000 years. Also, Prime Minister Turtle, how many 7th-order sovereigns do the Dragon Palace have? Wang Xian continued asking Prime Minister Turtle. With those hearts of faith, the number of 7th-order sovereigns in the Dragon Palace has reached 170. Prime Minister Turtle smiled and said, In terms of 7th-order Sovereign Realm experts, the experts of our Dragon Palace far surpassed the other peak powers. The phantom dragon species had been greatly improved in a treasured land. Coupled with the heart of faith from the gods, the drakes received a significant boost in strength. Currently, the strength of the phantom dragon species was the strongest in the Dragon Palace. 177th-order Sovereign Realm experts. This number was more than the number of peak experts from the various races. At least, it was more than the 7th-order sovereigns from the other peak powers. Sure, get the disciples of the Dragon Palace ready. In 2,000 years, we will launch an all-out attack on the Phoenix clan. Don't let any of the Phoenix clan's experts and disciples escape. Wang Xian's eyes flashed with a cold light as he spoke. Yes, Dragon King! Prime Minister Turtle nodded his head and hesitated for a moment before continuing. Dragon King, the 9 Origins Universe passage has been opened in the giant starry sky city. From there, we can teleport to the giant starry sky city immediately. Long-distance teleportation? That's fast. Don't worry about it. Wang Xian shook his head. Wang Xian and the rest were well aware of the strength and defense of the giant starry sky city. However, with the current defense of the giant starry sky city, it could withstand the attack of 2 7th-order sovereigns. This defense was nothing to Wang Xian. He could destroy the entire giant starry sky city. At that time, if the Dragon Palace launched an attack, Wang Xian would seal the entire giant starry sky city. Before the war, we have to give them a notice. If the Phoenix clan is willing to fork out sufficient compensation, we will forget about this matter. If they don't agree, we will fight. Wang Xian narrowed his eyes slightly. He opened his mouth and spoke. As soon as he finished speaking, he took out the communication stone plate and posted a message in his name. Dragon King of the Dragon Palace. if the Phoenix clan can't give us a satisfactory answer after 2,000 years, I will let all the experts and disciples of the Phoenix clan in the starry sky universe bleed like a river. A plain message was uploaded to the communication stone plate. After which, Wang Xian turned off the communication stone plate and revealed a faint smile. Next, it was time to play with the Phoenix clan. No matter how many trump cards the Phoenix clan had or how strong they were, Wang Xian would play with them until the end if they couldn't give him a satisfactory answer. He wanted to see who would be the one who couldn't afford to play in the end. If the Phoenix clan didn't have any other powerful existences or trump cards. Sorry, but none of the experts and disciples of the Phoenix clan would be spared. Even if they were in the giant starry sky city. At the same time, when Wang Xian posted this message, it quickly caused a huge commotion in the communication stone plate and the entire giant starry sky city. It's here, it's here! The revenge of the Dragon King of the Dragon Palace is about to begin. This is the Dragon King of the Dragon Palace that I have seen before. This is the Dragon King that I will repay tenfold if you offend me. I knew it. I knew that the Dragon Palace wouldn't let it go so easily. Neither would the Dragon King. Ever since the Dragon Palace developed to this day, the Dragon King of the Dragon Palace has never lowered his head. Ha ha, the Dragon King is awesome. I support the Dragon King! The Dragon King is starting his revenge. SSS, what a domineering declaration and warning. If they don't give us a satisfactory answer, he will slaughter all the experts and disciples of the Phoenix clan? Is this the Dragon King of the Dragon Palace? Chapter 3894. Wang Xian's message caused a huge uproar. All the experts and disciples in the Nine Origins universe were shocked when they saw the news. The Dragon Palace's revenge was about to begin. The Dragon King's revenge was about to begin. Many of the experts and disciples were not too surprised. This was the Dragon King's character. Since the establishment of the Dragon Palace, as long as someone targeted the Dragon Palace, the Dragon King would accompany them to the end. This time was no exception. Because Wang Xian and the others had resisted the entire Faith Universe army single-handedly, they had gained many admirers in the Nine Origins universe. Humph, you want to turn the Phoenix race into a river of blood? At the same time, in the void, 7 Seventh-Order Sovereign Realm space beasts hovered in the air around them. The experts of the Phoenix race and the Angel race were at the back. When the experts of the Phoenix race received the news, their faces were filled with coldness. 2,000 years later, the Angel race will be able to tame that giant star beast in front of us. An archangel from the Angel race said with a smile. Since that's the case, why don't our two races settle things with the Dragon Palace in 2,000 years? A Seventh-Order Sovereign Fire Phoenix looked at them and said emotionlessly. Sure, the Phoenix race has the same idea. This time, we will completely annihilate the Dragon Palace. As long as we kill all their experts and disciples in the starry sky cosmos, we can easily destroy their nest in the Nine Origins universe. The experts of the Angel race nodded their heads. The hatred between them and the Dragon King could no longer be resolved. This time, they would settle things once and for all. 2,000 years later, with their strength, it would not be a problem to annihilate the Dragon Palace. All right, let's annihilate the Dragon Palace once and for all. The group of phoenixes said with murderous intent. 2,000 years later, we will settle things once and for all. A water phoenix from the Phoenix race took out the communication stone plate and said with a smirk. Then, he typed a reply on the communication stone plate in the name of a powerhouse of the Phoenix clan. Let's wait and see 2,000 years later. Let's wait and see. Who will annihilate who? When this message was sent out, it quickly caused a huge uproar in the communication stone plate. After all, this was a direct response from the Phoenix race. This was also the attitude of the Phoenix clan. Just wait and see. The Phoenix clan actually accepted the challenge. They really accepted the challenge. There will definitely be a great war in 2,000 years. It's hard to say who will win now. The Phoenix race has 4 Seventh-Order Sovereign Realm star beasts as allies. Although I don't know the strength of the Dragon Palace, the fact that the Dragon King and the others are able to strike fear into the hearts of the entire Faith universe means that they have terrifying strength as well. Support the Dragon Palace, support the Dragon King, and get rid of the Phoenix Clan. To think that the Phoenix Clan killed Patriarch Skyfire in order to snatch the treasure. How despicable! At present, the Phoenix Clan is not afraid of the Dragon Palace at all. They must have a powerful backer. I guess there will be a great war. After this war, I should be able to find out the trump card of the Dragon Palace. I wonder how strong the Dragon King of the Dragon Palace is? All the experts and disciples in the Nine Essences universe were discussing this matter. This battle was unavoidable. The enmity between the Phoenix Clan and the Dragon Palace had reached an irreconcilable point. Just a small Dragon Palace. This time, the Phoenix Clan will show you our strength. In 2,000 years, the Dragon Palace will be destroyed. A large number of experts and disciples of the Phoenix Clan were clamoring in the communication stone plate. Some of the disciples of the Dragon Palace also responded. Especially the venomous horned dragon, led by the 8-Chi devilish Shah and the others. They were not afraid of anyone when it came to arguing. With the announcement from the Dragon Palace and the Phoenix Clan, the war in 2,000 years became the focus of the Nine Essences universe. Seeing the response from the Phoenix Clan, the corner of Wang Xian's mouth twitched slightly, but he didn't seem to care. 2,000 years! So be it. Time passed quickly. To the experts, 2,000 years passed in the blink of an eye. At the same time, at the location of the Nine Essences universe's passageway, a group of experts from the Phoenix Clan stood in the void. The Water Phoenix, Fire Phoenix, and Golden Phoenix, the kings of the three types of phoenixes, were all here. Other than the three Phoenix Kings, there were also 3 elders of the Phoenix Clan. All of them were existences above the 8th Order Sovereign Realm. There were also 5 or 6 peak Sovereign Realm existences. This wasn't the full strength of the Phoenix Clan, but it was terrifying enough to gather all of them here. They floated in the air, waiting quietly. At the side, the Radiance Angel King and a group of great angels above the 8th Order Sovereign Realm had also gathered. They were also waiting for the same news. There were experts from the other 10 pinnacle races around, and there were more of them than before. All the experts were paying close attention to the upcoming battle. The Dragon Palace declared war, and the Phoenix Clan responded. This was going to be an unprecedented war. Over at the Phoenix Clan, the Aqua Phoenix King looked at the Radiance Angel King. The two of them looked at each other and nodded silently. They had reached an agreement. In the middle of the group of pinnacle races, there was a teleportation array. This was a teleportation array created by a group of pinnacle races. From this teleportation array, they could reach the giant starry sky city in an instant. Are you ready? At the same time, in the giant starry sky city, Wang Xian looked at Prime Minister Turtle and said, "Dragon King, all combat disciples are ready." Prime Minister Turtle nodded his head. 2,000 years had passed, and Whitey, Xiao Zhai, and the rest had completed their breakthroughs. For this great battle, Wang Xian was not going to hide anything anymore. 1,000 phantom dragons and devouring dragons were all participating. Currently, the phantom dragons had 173 7th Order sovereigns, and about 500 6th Order sovereigns. The rest were all 5th Order sovereigns. In these tens of millions of years, the devouring dragons, roving crab, and the rest had improved tremendously in the previous treasure land. Roving crab had broken through to the 5th Order sovereign realm, but his strength was only comparable to those 4th Order sovereigns. Now that more than 30 million years had passed, there were hundreds of devouring dragons that had reached the 6th Order sovereign realm. In other words, they were comparable to 5th Order sovereigns from other pinnacle races. There were hundreds of 6th Order sovereigns, but there were thousands of 4th Order sovereigns. Wang Xian did not touch the rest of the forces. The rest of the Dragon Palace disciples' cultivation was not very high. But this was enough. Chapter 3895. Hee, alright. Let's have a good fight with them tomorrow. Wang Xian said with a smile after hearing Prime Minister Turtle's report. Dragon King, according to our investigation, the Phoenix Clan and the Angel Clan have been getting closer recently. We have to be wary of the Angel Clan, Prime Minister Turtle said. The Angel Clan should be participating this time. Wang Xian nodded. As for the addition of the Angel Clan, he didn't care. The war is about to start. I saw many experts from the Phoenix Clan arriving. Where will they fight tomorrow? Neither the Dragon Palace nor the Phoenix Clan are backing off. I guess there will be a huge war in front of the Starry Sky City. That should be the case. Neither side is backing off. The war should be in front of the Starry Sky City. All the experts and disciples will be able to witness it. I'm really looking forward to the war tomorrow. This is the first time the Dragon Palace is challenging a veteran top-notch clan. I wonder how strong the Dragon Palace is now. Tomorrow, the Phoenix Clan will definitely destroy the Dragon Palace. Meanwhile, in the Starry Sky City, the number of experts and disciples in the Starry Sky City was much higher than the last time the Universe of Faith had attacked. Many experts and disciples were worried that the Starry Sky City might not be able to withstand the previous attack from the Faith Universe. Therefore, they didn't come. But this time, the entire Starry Sky City was packed with creatures from various clans. All the experts and disciples were discussing this matter. Even the experts and disciples from the top-notch clans were discussing this war. A day passed by quickly. The next day, a dragon roar reverberated through the entire Starry Sky City. The dragon roar was filled with majesty and coldness. It's here! All the experts and disciples in the Starry Sky City felt a chill in their hearts when they heard the dragon roar. They immediately looked towards the territory of the Dragon Palace. At this moment, they saw figures flying towards the outside of the Starry Sky City. It's starting. The Dragon Palace has started. It seems like the war is going to break out in front of the Starry Sky City. I wonder if the Phoenix Clan is also here to fight. It's definitely here. The experts and disciples of the Phoenix Clan haven't shown the slightest bit of fear in the past 2,000 years. They've responded in a domineering manner. So, they definitely have a trump card. This time, if they don't accept the challenge in front of the Starry Sky Giant City, it'll be a little embarrassing. Quick, let's go to the front of the Starry Sky City and take a look. This dragon roar seemed to be a signal. The group of experts and disciples who had been waiting here immediately looked towards the front of the city wall. At a glance, there were tens of billions of experts and disciples who came to watch the battle. They were densely packed and endless. At the same time, Wang Xian and Lan Qinghua led a group of succubus dragons and thousands of devouring dragons towards the outside. He flew all the way to the front of the Starry Sky City. Floating in the air, Wang Xian looked calmly at the Starry Sky City. His eyes were filled with coldness. Chirp, chirp, chirp. Chirp, chirp, chirp. Right at this moment, Feng Ming's voice resounded. The sound was crisp and clear, resounding through the sky. Compared to Wang Xian, who had only sent a few thousand disciples of the Dragon Palace. On the other hand, the Phoenix Clan had a lot more disciples. More than 20,000 phoenixes flew out. Each phoenix had the aura of a sovereign. As they flapped their huge phoenix wings, they exuded an invincible aura. Hee, there are too few disciples of the Dragon Palace. They won't be enough for us to kill later. It seems like the rest of the disciples of the Dragon Palace have gone into hiding. The group of experts from the Phoenix Clan flew to the position opposite Wang Xian. The group of Seventh-Order sovereigns who were leading the group of phoenixes sized them up. Their eyes were filled with ridicule and disdain. They were 100% confident in today's battle. Wang! Lan Qinghua swept her gaze across them. With a wave of her arm, 3 horrifying black holes appeared in the sky. Woo woo woo! Woo woo woo! Woo woo woo! From the black holes, terrifying roars came from afar. I'll give you 10 seconds to take out your trump cards. Otherwise, all of you will die. Lan Qinghua stared at the group of experts from the Phoenix Clan and said coldly. Huh! Ancient God Kun Breeder, is this the legendary Ancient God Kun Breeder? It seems like the ancient god Kun breeder is much more powerful than before. Lan Qingwei summoned Xiao Lan and the rest immediately. The terrifying black hole let out a terrifying roar. The experts of the Phoenix clan narrowed their eyes in astonishment. Their pupils constricted slightly and were filled with fear. The power within the black hole caused them to tremble. The Dragon Palace has already shown its trump card before the war has even begun. The ancient god Kun breeder, the Dragon Queen of the Dragon Palace, is about to summon the Kun. The energy in the black hole is so terrifying, it's comparable to the power of a peak ruler like us. 3 black holes. Could it be that the ancient god Kun breeder and her Kun have reached the 7th order sovereign realm? Without the suppression of the starry sky cosmos, they are comparable to peak sovereign realm experts. 3 peak sovereign realm experts are terrifying. The ancient god Kun breeder has indeed made a breakthrough. No wonder the entire faith universe is so fearful of the dragon kings of Dragon Palace. On the city walls of the starry sky city, all the top-notch experts from the various pinnacle races were shocked when they saw Lan Qingwei summoning Kun. The aura coming from the black hole made them tremble. This power was comparable to a peak sovereign realm expert. Humph! At the side of the Phoenix race, the group of experts snorted coldly. Roar, roar! At this time, the roars of the 4 green cherry galactic beasts could be heard from the side. The huge body appeared at the side. The 4 7th order sovereign realm giant beasts flew over and looked at Wang Xian and the others. Their eyes fell on the black hole, and their eyes were filled with coldness. Woo woo woo! Woo woo woo! Woo woo woo! At this time, Xiao Lan, Xiao Bai, and the rest slowly emerged from the black hole. Each of them looked to be about twice the size of the green cherry galactic beasts. They emitted a grayish energy that was incomparably heavy. Xiao Lan came to the position below Wang Xian and the rest and stepped on his body. Both sides began to face each other from afar. From the looks of it, both sides are evenly matched. The ancient god Kun breeder and 3 Kun from the Dragon Palace are enough to deal with the 4 7th order sovereign realm giant beasts from the Phoenix clan. Chapter 3896. The Dragon Palace's strength was on full display, and the Phoenix race's allies had rushed over. 4 7th order sovereign realm experts against 4 7th order sovereign realm giant beasts. From the looks of it, they were evenly matched. Within the giant starry sky city, all the experts and disciples stared at the experts from the Dragon Palace and Phoenix race, and their eyes lit up. Wang Xian stared at the 4 7th order sovereigns, and he sized them up. His gaze fell on the 20,000 experts from the Phoenix race, and a smile appeared on his face. These 20,000 phoenixes would become the best resource for the Dragon Palace. Is this the trump card of your Phoenix race? It's not enough. If this is all you have, then all of you will still die. Wang Xian did not say anything, and the leader of the mystical dragons slowly flew up into the sky. The group of mystical dragons followed suit and hovered in the air. Boom! Boom! In the next second, a powerful aura surged out from their bodies. The aura of a 7th order sovereign soared into the sky. A 7th order sovereign realm expert was nothing to him. However, there were over 170 7th order sovereigns at the same time. That was terrifying. The mystical dragons held the black flower of the other shore in their hands. There was a strange look on their faces. Let me introduce myself. Mystical dragons from the Dragon Palace. Your strength is not enough. The leader of the mystical dragons stared at the group of experts from the Phoenix race and said coldly, "Ha!" When the over 177th order sovereign realm phantom dragons revealed their might, the 20,000 sovereign realm phoenixes on the Phoenix clan's side were slightly shocked. This? How can the Dragon Palace have so many 7th order sovereigns? How is this possible? There are over 170 of them? The leader of the Phoenix race's 7th order sovereign realm experts narrowed his eyes, and he exclaimed in disbelief. On their side, there were only 40 or so 7th order sovereigns who had come. This number of over 40 was not a small number. There were over 177th Order sovereigns in the entire Phoenix clan. How could the Dragon Palace have so many? In the past, the Dragon Palace only had a few First Order and Second Order sovereign realm experts. In less than 100 million years, the Divine Dragon Palace had over 177th Order sovereigns. This rate of improvement was somewhat unimaginable. 177th Order sovereign realm experts were more than enough to kill over 20,000 7th Order sovereigns. What? The Dragon Palace actually had so many 7th Order sovereigns? How can they improve so quickly? What kind of opportunity did the Dragon Palace get? How is it possible for so many 7th Order sovereigns to appear in less than 100 million years? How is this possible? Is this the trump card of the Dragon Palace? Is this the strength of the Dragon Palace? Although Dragon Palace doesn't have many experts this time, they are all top-notch existences. Dragon Palace is much stronger in a situation where their peak combat power is equal. What kind of opportunity did the Dragon Palace obtain? Could it be an opportunity comparable to the treasured lands of our peak races? On the giant starry sky city, all the experts and disciples were shocked when they saw this scene. In the beginning, their attention was attracted by the ancient god Kun Breeder and the 4 Phoenix race allies. They did not notice the group of subordinates behind the Dragon King. Now, these subordinates were so powerful, so terrifying. More than 177th Order sovereigns. It seems like the Dragon Palace has obtained a huge opportunity and treasure. Very good. The leader of the Phoenix race, a 7th Order sovereign realm Phoenix, stared coldly at the Phantom Dragon race. If you don't have any trump cards, you can die now. The leader of the Phantom Dragon race said coldly. Haha, you want us to die? Do you think the Dragon Palace can destroy us today? Only you will die. Today, we will let you know the consequences of offending the Phoenix race. From today onwards, the Dragon Palace will be completely erased from the starry sky cosmos and the 9 origins cosmos. The Phoenix race's 7th Order sovereign realm expert roared with a sinister expression on his face. As soon as the words left his mouth, 2 huge beasts flew out from behind. 2 incomparably loud roars shook everyone. They immediately looked towards the source of the roars. When they saw the 2 incomparably huge space beasts, a look of shock appeared on their faces. This is... Of the 2 space beasts, one had 3 heads, and it looked like a terrifying giant python. Its lower body looked incomparably swollen, but it was covered with sharp thorns. The other space beast looked like a gorilla, and it had a huge horn on its head. The height of the horn was almost the same as its body. It was incomparably strange and bizarre. Their auras were not any weaker than the other 4 7th Order sovereign realm space beasts. Another 2 7th Order sovereign realm space beasts. Are these space beasts allies of the Phoenix race? No, these 2 7th Order sovereign realm space beasts have no intelligence. They must have been tamed by the Phoenix race. They actually managed to tame 2 7th Order sovereign realm space beasts. These are 7th Order sovereign realm space beasts, and there are actually 2 more of them. This is unbelievable. 2 of this level of battle prowess. This is enough to crush the Dragon Palace. All the experts and disciples of the 9 origins cosmos were shocked when they saw this scene. The Phoenix race still had a trump card. And it was such a terrifying trump card. The Phoenix race must have made use of the 4 space beasts to tame these 2 7th Order sovereign realm space beasts. The Dragon King and the others are in trouble. Some experts from other pinnacle races murmured. The surrounding experts nodded their heads in agreement. Wang Xian raised his brows slightly when he saw the 2 7th Order Universe Sovereign Realm Space Beasts appearing again. Ha ha ha, Dragon Palace, Dragon King, what do you think of our Phoenix race's trump card? The 7th Order Sovereign from the Phoenix race laughed maniacally as he stared at Wang Xian with a murderous look. But do you think this is the end? He smiled eerily and added another sentence. Today, the Dragon Palace will be destroyed, and the Dragon King will die. As soon as he finished speaking, a voice suddenly rang out from the city walls of the starry sky city. The sudden voice startled everyone and they immediately turned their heads to take a look. Chapter 3897. Today, the Dragon Palace will be destroyed, and the Dragon King will die. This sentence rang out from the walls of the giant starry sky city. Under everyone's gaze, they saw a group of peak experts. Similarly, over 20,000 figures flew towards the city. They had 12 wings, and their bodies emitted the energy of light and darkness. The angel race. It's the angel race. The angel race wants to deal with the Dragon Palace as well. It's the angel race. It seems like they have joined forces with the Phoenix race. This time, they are going to destroy the Dragon Palace and the Dragon King. When the experts and disciples saw the angel race flying out, they were surprised, but there were also some who had expected it. The Dragon Palace has been jumping around for so long. It's time to send you on your way. Over 20,000 sovereign realm angels flew out, and the leader of the Radiance Angels said indifferently, "This time, don't even think of escaping. With just you guys?" Lan Qinghua looked at the angel race and said coldly, "Haha, ancient god Kun breeder, isn't that enough? If not, we'll give you more." Upon hearing her words, the leading Radiance Angel laughed loudly and waved his arm. Buzz! Buzz! Behind them, a great light array rose. Within the great array, two incomparably massive figures slowly materialized. Roar! Roar! Two silhouettes appeared and roared at the sky in unison. A savage aura swept out in all directions. Another two 7th Order Sovereign Realm giant space beasts. Oh my god, another two 7th Order Sovereign Realm giant space beasts. Another two! Are 7th Order Sovereign Realm space beasts so worthless? 7th Order Sovereign Realm giant space beasts are considered top-tier experts even in our 9 Origins universe. Now, there are two of them in the angel race? 8 7th Order Sovereign Realm giant space beasts. How is the Dragon Palace going to fight them? How are they going to deal with them? Is this the trump card of the Phoenix race and angel race? If they were to deal with the Faith Universe's army, they would be able to annihilate them all. Terrifying. From the looks of it, the Dragon Palace is no match for them at all. Oh no, the gap is almost double. The Dragon Palace is probably done for. I wonder if they can escape. From the looks of it, their combat power isn't on the same level at all. Does Dragon Palace still have a trump card? I don't think so. The Dragon Palace is already very powerful, but the Phoenix Clan and the Angel Clan are even more powerful. Another two 7th Order Sovereign Realm space beasts appeared on the Angel race's side. This caused all the experts and disciples in the 9 Origins universe to be incomparably shocked. They looked at the strength of both sides and shook their heads slightly. Dragon Palace was already very powerful. But what a pity! The strength of the Phoenix Clan and the Angel Clan has really exceeded my expectations. When Wang Xian saw the 8 7th Order Sovereign Realm space beasts, a trace of surprise flashed across his face. He had not expected the strength of the Phoenix Clan and the Angel Clan to be this strong. If a fight were to break out, Wang Xian would not be able to do anything to them within a short period of time. Hee, Dragon King, let's settle this once and for all. A water phoenix of the Phoenix Clan said with a murderous expression. Roar! Roar! At the side, the leading Radiance Angel of the Angel Clan waved his arm, and two space beasts instantly appeared behind Wang Xian. They blocked the path behind them. The distance between both sides was not very far. Therefore, the two 7th Order Sovereign Space Beasts easily blocked the path. As for the 4 green cherry space beasts, they immediately flew to the left side of the Dragon Palace and blocked the left side of the Dragon Palace. Other than up and down, the other directions were all blocked. This time, we'll completely destroy this eyesore. The speed of the Dragon Palace's improvement is really fast. They must have obtained powerful resources and treasures. After we destroy them, let's see if we can find them. Indeed, the speed of the Dragon Palace's improvement is really terrifying. But it's a pity that they have offended our Phoenix Clan. At the same time, at the location of the Nine Origins Universe passage. A group of experts from the Phoenix clan and the Angel clan had gathered here. In front of them, an image appeared. In the image was the scene in front of the Starry Sky City. From here, they could see everything clearly. At this moment, be it the King of Radiant Angels or the three kings of the Phoenix clan, all of them were smiling. In this war, the combat strength of their experts had formed a crushing situation. Next, it would be the doomsday of the Dragon Palace. At the side, a group of great fairies from the fairy clan frowned slightly. In front of them, there was also an image of the battlefield. However, they could not participate in this kind of war. Although the fairy clan had a good relationship with the Dragon Palace, they would not participate in a war of this level, nor would they help the Dragon Palace. Because once they participated in the war, things would become serious. That would not only be a war in the Starry Sky universe, but the flames of war would spread to the Nine Origins universe. It might be a little difficult to end this. Wang Xian looked at them and said plainly. Although the strength of the Phoenix clan and the Angel clan had exceeded his expectations, it was still within the scope of resistance. He looked at the four green cherry space beasts on the left. You'd better not participate in the war between us and the Phoenix clan and the Angel clan. Wang Xian stared at them and warned. The Dragon Palace should not have offended the Phoenix clan. You are asking for it. One of the green cherry space beasts opened its huge mouth and said. Is that so? Wang Xian stared at them, waved his palm, and a token appeared in his hand. I wonder if this is useful to you? Wang. After he took it out, he injected a stream of energy into it. The entire token rose into the air, emitting a unique aura. Huh! When the four cyan cherry star beasts saw the token, they fixed their eyes on it. It's the Beast King token! The green cherry space beast growled in a low voice. He lowered his head slowly and said, I'm sorry, Dragon King. We did not know that you have the Beast King token, nor did we know that you know our Beast King. We will not attack you or the Dragon Palace. The Phoenix clan has given us a lot of resources and treasures. Therefore, we are very sorry that we cannot help you. It's okay. Just stay away from here. Seeing that they knew the Beast King token, Wang Xian revealed a smile. It seemed that the Beast King's token given by the giant chaotic astral beast was really useful. Chapter 3898. What's going on? What's going on? The Phoenix race, Angel race, and all the experts and disciples on the city watched as the Dragon King of the Dragon Palace took out a token and spoke to the green cherry space beasts. In the end, those blue cherry starry beasts actually left directly? This? They left just like that? What's going on? What's the Star Beast King token? The Phoenix race's ally, the green cherry space beast, is leaving? They're not attacking the Dragon Palace? What a joke! Hiss, if the four-star beasts leave, the Phoenix race and Angel race's peak battle strength will be equal. All the experts and disciples on the city stared at the scene with their mouths agape. No one had expected such a situation to occur. The four green cherry space beasts, we have an agreement. An expert of the Phoenix race, a seventh-order sovereign, looked at the four-star beasts and said with a gloomy expression. What do you mean by leaving? We have no choice. The Dragon King has the Star Beast King token of the Chaos King. We have to obey. One of the green cherry space beasts looked at them and said in a low voice. After saying that, he flew towards the void in front of him without any hesitation. The Starry Sky Beast King token was an order that the Starry Sky Beasts couldn't refuse. Otherwise, they would die. They could not refuse. Moreover, they were able to return to the Starry Sky cosmos because those kings had brought them here. They had to obey orders. All the experts and disciples of the Phoenix race had ugly expressions on their faces. The Angel clan's powerhouses were also constantly changing over there. They were prepared to destroy the Dragon Palace this time, and part of the reason was because of the green cherry space beasts. For 7th Order Sovereign Realm giant space beasts, in addition to the beasts they had tamed, were more than enough to annihilate the Dragon Palace. But now, the 4 green cherry space beasts had left, and the 4 seventh order sovereigns of the Phoenix race and the Angel race could only contend against the ancient god Kuan Breeder. In the next battle, the Phoenix race and the Angel race would have to fight against the Dragon King. The dignified Phoenix clan and Angel clan joined hands to deal with our Dragon Palace. Now that your ally has left, isn't this just right? Show us your true strength and let us fight! Wan Xian stared at all the experts and disciples of the Phoenix and Angel tribes with a smile on his face. Now, it's a true contest of strength. This is a fair battle, but I'm afraid it will take a long time to determine the winner of this battle. Even though there are many 7th Order sovereigns in the Dragon Palace, the Phoenix race and Angel race have their own trump cards. Their trump cards are enough to deal with 8th Order and 9th Order sovereigns. It's hard to say who will win. Yes, the current battle is fair. The Phoenix clan and the Angel clan will join hands to fight against the Dragon Palace. There will be no experts from other clans participating. On the Starry Sky City, everyone who saw this scene spoke up, their eyes gleaming. The previous battle was a one-sided battle, but it was no longer the case now. Even without the Green Sakura Giant Star Beast clan, we will destroy your Dragon Palace. The experts of the Phoenix clan and the Angel clan looked at each other, gritted their teeth, and spoke in a sinister tone. Now, on the surface, they were still much stronger than the Dragon Palace with the trump cards they had. Moreover, this battle was unavoidable. They had to fight. Their eyes revealed a sinister glint. Fight. They still had the confidence to win. All disciples of the Phoenix race, get ready to fight. All disciples of the Angel race, get ready to fight. The 7th Order sovereigns of the Phoenix race and Angel race roared as they raised the innate cardinal treasures in their hands. Fight. Annihilate the Dragon Palace. Leave no one alive. Annihilate the Dragon Palace. Leave no one alive. The 40 to 50,000 universe ruler realm powerhouses roared loudly. Their aura shot to the clouds. 4 cosmic giant beasts for you, Qingwei. Wan Xian's eyes swept across the Angel race and Phoenix race. When he heard their roars, a trace of disdain flashed in his eyes. All right. Lan Qingwei nodded her head and looked at the 4 7th Order Sovereign Realm giant beasts. Woo woo woo. Woo woo woo. Woo woo woo. Xiao Lan, Xiao Bai, and Xiao Ya roared and flew into the sky, creating a huge distance between them. Kill. The experts of the Phoenix race and Angel race immediately ordered the 4 7th Order Sovereign Realm giant beasts to attack Xiao Lan and the rest. Dragon Palace, you have many 7th Order Sovereign Realm experts. However, the foundation of the Phoenix race and Angel race is something your Dragon Palace will never be able to match. Today is the day you die. A 7th Order Sovereign Realm Fire Phoenix's eyes were filled with coldness. He held a Fire Phoenix sculpture in his hand. Phoenix Nirvana. He roared, and the 6 7th Order Sovereign Realm Fire Phoenixes around him injected majestic life force into the sculpture. The entire Fire Phoenix sculpture gradually became real. Chirp chirp chirp. The sound of a phoenix rang out from the sculpture. Terrifying flames enveloped the starry sky. No one can stop me from killing your Dragon King today. The leading great angel of the Angel race waved his arm, and a feather floated in the air. Slowly, the feather was aimed at Wan Xian. Dragon Palace disciples, kill. Wan Xian saw the Angel race and Phoenix race bringing out some of their trump cards, and his eyes flashed with coldness. He waved his arm. At the same time, the 5 elements grindstone and the Tai Chi dragon coil in his body attacked the Phoenix race and Angel race. A soul warship and 2 soul spears appeared and attacked the Fire Phoenix sculpture. The battle broke out immediately. Fight, kill! The experts of the Phoenix clan and the Angel clan roared and rushed forward. Chirp chirp chirp. The Fire Phoenix sculpture in the sky let out another cry. He stared at the soul spears and soul warship that were attacking him, and let out a low roar. He charged forward. His speed was much faster than the experts of the Angel clan and the Phoenix clan below. Rumble, rumble, rumble! Waves of flames spewed out from the fire phoenix's mouth. These terrifying flames were enough to threaten Ninth Order sovereigns. You're tuning into the Phoenix Knights YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.